Good morning Year 2, it's Miss White here. I'm going to go through today's grammar lesson with you, which is all about verbs. So it is related to all of the work you've been doing on witches. We're going to have a particular focus on verbs today. So before we go through what a verb is, there's a little warm-up for you. I've got some words on the screen here. Hat, terrifying, witch, because, flies, lives, cackles, scratches and jet black. Can you scribble down now, if you've got a bit of paper, which of these words you think are verbs? It'd be a good idea as well maybe to send a message to your teacher on Dojo to see if you've got them all correct. I'm not going to tell you the answer though till the very end of the lesson. So why don't you pause the video now, write down which of these words are verbs and then press play when you're ready. Well done, I hope you shared those on Dojo with your class teacher. So what is a verb? A verb is what we call a doing word, it's an action. So in the sentences below, I've got two here. So we've got the ice witch dances in the snow at night. She builds snow monsters from the ice. So you'll notice I've highlighted the doing words, the verbs, yellow. A lot of you in class may remember that we did refer to them as our yellow words. In this sentence, our noun, our who, which we would also colour orange, is the ice witch. And here we're learning what she does. She dances. Now it's very important to know that a sentence actually cannot make sense without a noun and a verb. You can add all this extra detail, that's going to give the reader more of an image in their head, but if you listen carefully, the ice witch dances, that does make sense on its own. In the snow, at night, that is additional information. So in the snow is blue, it's telling us where, and at night is what we would know as our brown words or phrases, and that is when. Next sentence, she. So again, that's an orange word. I don't need to repeat ice witch again because I've got that here. She builds. So builds is the doing word, the verb in that sentence. She builds snow monsters from the ice. The snow monsters here is what we would normally colour in green in class because it's just additional information related to the verb. Sometimes we say doing what. So builds, what does she build? Snow monsters. You may want to ask a grown-up if they can to come and time you now. If not, take as much time as you need. But what I'd like you to do is pause this video and write down as many verbs as you can think of in about 1 minute. So don't spend too long on it, just as many verbs as you can think of. Just if you're unsure, think, is that something that you can do? So if I was thinking of a verb and I was thinking of run, is that something I could do? Yes, people can run, animals can run. So pause me now, write as many as you can think of, and when you're ready, press play. Now what you might want to do is get the document up that is saved in the folders today, because there's some different video links here. You can watch this video now or watch it at the end of the lesson. It's Jack Hartman. A lot of you know him from some of our maths counting videos, and he's got a song all about verbs. There's loads and loads of different ones in the video, so I would suggest at some point trying to watch it. If you want to watch it now, pause me, or if you want to save it to the end, that's fine. Another challenge here, now you don't need to write this down. If you're working with somebody else at the moment, you might want to discuss it with them. Otherwise, have a think. Which are the verbs in these three sentences? So pause the video, but if you want to share on Dojo with your class teacher, you can, and we'll go through the answers when you're ready. So pause me now and have a go. Well done, Year 2. So we'll do the first one together. The forest witch sings songs to the animals. If we look carefully at this sentence, the forest witch, that's our who, that's our orange word or phrase. So the forest witch sings, and that is our doing word. That's the thing that she's doing in this sentence. What's she singing? Songs to the animals. So again, we've just got some additional information here related to this verb, sings. You'll notice with the next two sentences, I've tried to change how my sentences start. A lot of us in class tend to start every sentence with who, but it's nice sometimes to change how you start it. So here I'm changing it to a when. So at night, she, that's our who, that's our forest witch, flies. and that's our doing word. She flies. Where does she fly? Over the trees. And in our next sentence, again I've started with a when. This time, when it gets dark, comma, the city witch, so that's a different who, sneaks outside. Sneaks is quite a good verb, it's quite different. We talk a lot about using synonyms for our adjectives. You can also use them for verbs. So rather than saying walks, you could use sneaks. You might want to think as well about some synonyms for flies as you're doing this work. You'll notice as well as I've written my sentences that all of my verbs, sings, flies, sneaks, I've written them in the present tense. When you're practicing today, try and stick to the present tense. That's going to really help you with your report later on when you're writing. So your main task today, firstly, now you can do this just by thinking it, or if you want to write them down, can you think of as many verbs as you can that relate to your witch? So I gave you some here all about my witch, sneaks, sings, flies. Think about what you want your witch to be doing. As a challenge, to help you remember them, if you want to come up with some actions that's going to help you remember your verbs, you can. So if I was doing sneaks, my action could be sneaking. If I was doing climbing, you could act out the verb. And once you've brainstormed them, use them to create your own sentences all about your witch. Don't forget your full stops and capital letters. We don't want a full non-chronological report today, or lots and lots and lots of sentences. You could do 3 or 4 sentences, as long as you're showing your teacher that you understand what a verb is. If you're a bit unsure about how to structure your sentence, this will help you here. So your sentence could be my witch, so the city witch, the ice witch, the forest witch, whichever one you've chosen. What does she do? She or he do? Remember, try and stick to the present tense. And then a what word, so if I said sings songs, and then you might want to add where does this happen? So pause the video whenever you're ready, have a go at writing your sentences. If you need some advice, please speak to your teachers on Dojo, message them, show them some of your work so they can help you, and then whenever you're ready, press play again. Well done, Year 2. So I've just said here, send your work through on Dojo. We can't wait to see your super sentences. And if you've got time when you're finished, there's a game here that's just going to help you, what we call consolidate your understanding of verbs. Now if you remember right at the beginning of this lesson, I gave you this warm-up and you had to choose the verbs. Now check your answers before I show you what the correct answers are. After this lesson, you might want to change your answer. So just have another look quickly. And then I'm just going to scroll all the way down to the end, and here I've highlighted there were 4 verbs. Lives, cackles. Cackles is a really good verb when you're writing about a witch. Flies and scratches. Here we've got jet black, that's an adjective. Because is a conjunction. You should all know now that witch is a noun. Terrifying is a very good adjective. A lot of you have come up with that to describe your witch. And hat, which is a noun. Can't wait to see your sentences, Year 2. You've worked so hard already this week. Keep it up and please share all of your fab learning on Dojo. Well done, guys.